Subnautica is probably the first game where I maxed out all 17 achievements, which I stretched through 100 days of survival or 30 hours of gameplay, and had plenty of time to explore, follow the storyline, kill a bloody ghost Leviathan with a thermoblade and a stasis rifle, because I really needed to save my submarine, build a base, leveled up all my vehicles, leveraged ionic batteries to power the tools, hatched a cuttlefish, and nearly died while building a thermal plant right in the volcanic geyser. Well, yeah, that was a pretty fun ride. Oh, and speaking about the ride, we are actually falling. Subnautica is a story-based adventure, so it does have an end goal of escaping that exact planet on which we are about to crash. Our adventure will have certain milestones until we finally build an escape rocket, but how we entertain ourselves in the meantime is entirely up to us. So it starts out rather cinematically, emergency alarms blaring, flames leaking at the hull, one moment we are knocked out by a freaking metal plate, and a second later we need to be putting out the fire. But come on, quick thinking and a burst of extinguishing gas, like a touchpad, and we're back in control. And though the flames are out, the real challenge is about to begin. Let me just grab that free medkit real quick, and we are exiting an absolutely battered ship. Oh boy. How about a refreshing dive into the ocean to wash away our scars and launder our brown panties, because I'm sure my boy didn't like that crash. Actually, the ocean doesn't look that bad, it looks pretty friendly and even beautiful. Definitely better than our wrecked boat that we'll have to fix. So how about we collect some titanium, copper, metal parts, some quartz, and explore that epic looking tube with lots of resources. But I should really watch out for the oxygen though, I don't want to drown in the first days of my survival, right? Well, I think we're good for now. Let's go back to the ship and get our hands dirty. How about we start with making a copper wire, salvaging metal parts for more titanium, and crafting a standard O2 tank for more air. Let's also roadmap our next crafts, because I'll definitely need some batteries, a scanner, a repair tool, and probably the grand survival knife. Now check out this shiny seaweed with its creepvine seed clusters, which we're gonna need for rubber, and some acid mushrooms, of course, well, for the batteries. Well, here comes our survival knife and a scanner to analyze various fragments on the seabed. Oh, I think I should also craft fins, so I can swim a little faster. I think this is already a good start, so let's just get back to the unknown, and here comes our silver ore. And also a mobile vehicle bay part. Oh, and another one. I mean, these are great, but I wish I could scan the Seaglide fragments, because that's what I really need to get things going. Let me just catch that bladderfish real quick, and let's turn that into filtered water. Well, I wonder what that tastes like. Actually, the Seaglider didn't keep me waiting, because on the second day of my survival I already found the first part. Now, I just need to find another one and we're all set. Oh, and I can see some sulfur, but first I'd need to dodge these little bastards. Oh boy, why do they even need to suicide bomb themselves? How does it really help them? 3 sulfur deposits in one spot. Okay, I think we're up to some freaking artillery fire right now. Hey yo, here's a beacon part lying around. Oh, and another one. But what I really need is a Seaglider recipe, which comes straight into my pocket. Now let's clean all this mess, repair our radio and the life pods so we can power up our base and start getting some quests. I used the medkit to bandage my butt after those explosive carbs and realized that I also need a lubricant, but no, not what you're thinking about. For the Seaglide, luckily I already know where to get that, just a couple of creepvine seeds. Now let's turn them into lube and make our gear scooter so we can flex on those fish. Let's go! But hey, I also wouldn't mind a few containers, because I'm already running out of space. You free now, little box? Okay, that's actually so much better now, but still not ideal. Hopefully we can make a decent base soon. Well, I guess for that we'll need to craft a habitat builder, but I also need to craft a bunch of other things like a high-capacity oxygen tank, a rebreather, a wiring kit, a computer chip, but boy do I need plenty of resources for these. But with my new skate, it should be pretty easy to explore, right? So I found the last mobile vehicle bay fragment, a stalker tooth, and grilled a fish for my dinner after a nice scavenger hunt adventure. During my third day, I was looting some gold and silver, collecting random stuff to make sure I can craft all of my attachments, opened a weird time capsule which has given me a flashlight, and found a Seamoth fragment just a few feet away from that capsule, and thought maybe I should make that vehicle first before I can proceed with the quests. Also found a laser cutter fragment, and got bit by a stupid fish, which made farming in that biome pretty stressful because of all these sand sharks and little piranhas that are constantly bugging you. Anyway, I gathered 4 silver, 3 gold and a bunch of other resources. Scratched the back of some massive beast on my way back home because it was really huge and interesting to check out, and made a wiring kit, a rebreather. Also got some corals for the chip and made the habitat builder. So with that tool I can bring more comfort to my life and add some extra containers to store my trash. Somehow it got super dark really fast, so I was slightly worried what the hell was happening, and as it turned out it was a solar eclipse. So when the apocalypse left the chat I started building my base and decided to kick that off with a T compartment. And maybe another one right here. Added a couple of solar panels on top to power that up and dropped an air pump so I can breathe something, right? Welcome to our new home. Let's just drop a fabricator on the wall, add a radiator to keep up with all the quests, maybe a tiny wall locker to store some of my supplies, and 3 large wardrobes to sort out the resources. While I was recharging my Seaglider and stockpiling some garbage, the huge Aurora ship has already started feeling pretty bad. So bad that it actually freaking exploded. Oh boy, but thanks for the radiation suit, I guess. Anyway, I went back to exploration and this time I stumbled upon a gravitational trap, a counter, a non-functional sample analyzer, and a trash can, but never ended up using it because I keep all my trash in my wardrobes. The 5th day of survival and I became extremely obsessed with finding the final part of the Seamoth, but today luck was clearly not on my side. As I parked to get a bit of a laser cutter, I don't know what exactly, but something attacked me really heavily, and even though I wanted to push for that laser, the damage was getting too critical. I thought, okay, maybe it was radiation, but I went with the helmet on, I was still getting hurt. Alright, so it wasn't radiation, it was that redfish again, and also some sharp shooting cucumber that was lurking in the corner. Anyway, I got my laser cut apart now. Also found a scanner room fragment, a bar table, looted some fancy habitat that looked similar to mine, got a new Finn's recipe, lore cards, and a couple of flares. Outrun the ridiculously autistic shark, found a nuclear waste disposal can, a bioreactor fragment, a coffee vending machine. Heck, what is this game? I'm literally scanning new tech every couple of seconds. Once I get my Seamoth, I should probably take a break from that trash hunting contest and focus more on the actual storyline. Maybe even go check out the wrecked Aurora ship. But hey, there is a new desk that I can't probably live without. Ooh, a fancy container with a battery, a propulsion cannon fragment. So now I have both blueprints, laser cutter and a propulsion cannon. These tools will be useful when I go to explore the Aurora wreckage. Finally, I've spotted what appears to be a Seamoth fragment, but do you see that absolutely tempting wreck? A battery charging fragment, some futuristic looking parts? What is this, a backdoor to Narnia, huh? Okay, another planter, a bench, a what? A freaking urine? Oh no, it's a plant shelf. Alright, now back to the base, we have lots of work to do. Let's get that mobile vehicle bay part up and running, and release that bad boy out in the sea. And we are now ready to make that Seamoth, so we can swim a little faster and dive deeper, and the little drones are gonna slap this one together for us. Alright, it seems like I can't make a laser cutter at the moment because I don't have any diamonds, but I can craft a propulsion cannon. Yo, look at him go, that's the beast of a cannon. I also like that my poor guy tries everything with his bare hands. I don't know about you, but I wanna add a few lovely planters that we've gathered. Look at that hostel now. It starts to feel pretty cozy. Can we Airbnb that? Alright, now that we have our Seamoth, let's ride to that quest point 400 meters away from here and see what's up with that ship near a cave system. Here's our life pod, and that's it. There's nothing else to explore in that sunken jaw, so I guess we can just go find some diamonds. And what the hell is this? A bloody sand shark is blocking my way and trying to kill me? Really? Luckily, I managed to slip through straight to my Seamoth and make a tactical retreat. As I was searching for diamonds, I stumbled upon a creepy Reaper or Warper or whatever that is, and arriving at the next wreckage I found more data cards with the vehicle console upgrade. Unlocked a freaking Prawn suit torpedo arm blueprint, but never actually used that even in the late game. And of course I just couldn't miss all the furniture, including that command chair and a huge floodlight. Finally, I arrived closer to the next quest site, found a bunch of rubies, some lithium and my first diamond. And immediately after picking that up, the lady told me that the resources I gather are the property of the Aurora Corporation. What are you talking about, bro? Found a weird fan that someone might have forgotten to turn off and loaded another data box in the nearby dip. Got a moonpool fragment and a modification station. Since I'm beating this game for the first time, none of these things actually make any sense to me, so I'm just gonna explore what they do and how they work a bit later in the game. For now, I just wanna get that laser and go check out the Aurora wreckage to see if we can find anything useful there. So I crafted a bunch of fire extinguishers, as you can see the Aurora is burning like hell. Hopped in my old beater and went straight to the Aurora crash site, and boy does it look huge at that proximity. So I swam into that open crack and finally stepped on some solid ground. Greeted by a loot box and a bunch of weird headcrabs, I pulled out my big gun and shot those shrimp into the atmosphere. While sending roaches to the moon was fun and all, my gravity gun really needs to be put to a good use. So I also heavy lifted some of those boxes out of the way so I can clear the path and explore further into the ship, but I need to put out that fire first. I was a bit hesitant to submerge again, but I guess I had no other option. The room was not looking great, but I could cut through the sealed door, and boy did it take longer than I expected. Looted some lab access PDA and went into the cut-out hallway. There was a terminal with some black box data ready to be downloaded. Okay, cool, I guess I'll need that. I checked out the black box data but completely missed the codes and clues part. So instead of going straight to the door behind me, I went all the way up into the open and skyrocketed more prawns into the stratosphere. Up on the next floor of the Aurora ship there was another hallway with two passages, administration and cargo bay. I cleaned up the cargo bay first and was turned away by a code locked door, which of course I couldn't crack, or maybe I just didn't have the motivation, you know? But that has actually given me a clue that I should check out the messages, as I'm sure some of them should mean something. And they did. Here was the lab access code that I missed. God damn it. Well, since I was here anyway, I decided to check out the administrative room. Found another data terminal, a PDA and an epic Prawn suit poster. Nice! Alright, so I went all the way back to the third floor, entered the code and yay, here we go, the door is open. So, not much to see here except for those non-functional things and of course another interesting raid that I just don't care about. Alright, so I'm not sure where I picked that up, but I have the cargo bay code now. The most important element here was the Cyclops engine fragment, I believe, but I also messed around with some boxes for no reason. I was getting food and water in these containers, so that was quite convenient because I didn't bother to take many supplies with me. Bro, something is swimming down there. Do I really need to go? Do I really need to jump? Well, I guess I'm about to find out. Alright, another sealed door, and while I was cutting it, some freaking leech attacked me and I almost shit my pants. Anyway, here comes another room with a bunch of containers, so I looted pretty much everything but still missed one little PDA that I'll have to come back for a bit later. Now check out this huge rocket science room with a Cyclops energy efficiency model in the terminal. And as I was looting different rooms and getting stuck here and there, I realized that I also need to fix some of those switch boxes. And that actually opened doors for me, so that was pretty neat. That room contained even more Seamoth compartments, which I didn't really need because I already crafted one, but what I didn't have was the Seamoth depth upgrade module. Now that's cool, because I'll probably be able to dive deeper. Look at those hanging suits, I'm pretty sure those are Prawn suits. And yeah, this is not looking pretty. Quite a lot of fire to put out. Luckily, I did have a handful of those fire extinguishers with me. I emptied almost all the gallons just to secure that area, but it was definitely worth it because I got a storage module and of course the Prawn suit fragments, well actually all 4 of them, so I had my blueprint in no time. Now that raid to Aurora already turned out to be more rewarding than I expected, but I quickly leveled out my success by stagnating in that room for the next couple of days. You see, I explored that jacuzzi first, but didn't find much and was already getting worried about getting stuck here, especially when there is no stepfather to get me unstuck, you know. Anyway, I proceeded to clean that staircase to the next room and went straight to the living quarters and got a bit more food, water, a poster with a kitty, tried checking out those bags that seemed to be back in his chest and found even more posters. Of course, in these quarters it was difficult to skip all the stuff that I could scan, including that swivel chair, double bed, single bed and some of the wall shelves. But hey, that double bed was in the cabin 1, which was under a locked door with a keypad, so it actually took me a while to figure out where the heck that access code was. I went all the way back to those poor storage lockers and found another abandoned PDA which I missed, and now it actually made sense. So yeah, I entered the code and rushed in to see, well, just a bunch of toys. Arcade Gorge toy to be more precise, and a blue cap. There was another door, the captain's cabin, but I was pretty sure I searched every single corner now. There is no way to open it at the moment. The one thing I couldn't reach was that weird cabin hanging in the prawn suit area, but there were a bunch of boxes that I could probably move with my gravity gun. I got pretty close a few times, but still wasn't enough to actually reach it. Bro, I tried so bad that I literally spent the whole day here moving those boxes and wasting batteries one after another. Maybe I could try another time. I already spent 4 days in Aurora. I guess it was really the time to get out of here. I found a good spot and made a majestic dive into that slimy green water. Nice. As I was going back to my base, I noticed something big and scary, just a tip of the tail, but I guess I would not want to mess around with it. And the really bad news is that I have a quest in that location, but I think I just ignored it till the late game, honestly. Finally, I reached my cozy shelter and decided to upgrade my little Seamoth. I leveled up the storage and also dropped the Seamoth depths module that added 100 meters to my deep dive withstanding ability. Put a bunch of posters in my base to make it look like home, and also added another T-shaped section to make my shelter a bit bigger. I listened to a podcast on my radio and got a 40-minute deadline for no reason. Well, thanks. Is someone about to arrive? The Sunbeam was on the way already, but I have so many other quests to explore. I don't know if I should do them now or wait till that thing arrives, but hey, at least I got my punk boy room now. Well, I had 35 minutes till the Sunbeam landing, so I really needed to catch up with the other quest line that I was ignoring for a while now. I went to a little crash site, which was cool and all, but the most useful feature was unlocking a compass. Before I visited the Sunbeam landing facility, I was looking to check out the dry land first, which actually popped up much earlier during my playthrough, and bro, that was a lengthy ride. But hey, at least I can see the terra incognita. So I guess we should come ashore and explore that little island. Oh, look at that meathead. Bro is more ripped than these freaking mountain textures. Anyway, let's run around and see if there is anything useful on that island. What about a stasis rifle fragment? Or maybe these rusty sewers that someone spit here in the open? And yeah, more head crabs. I found a weird purple tablet which I might need for something important, but I just don't know what exactly for, and it doesn't really tell me now. Oh, I didn't know you could scan that observatory. I mean, this is awesome. I'd really love to have that in my base. Yo, Chinese potato, did this place belong to a Mao-Zedong or something? So I reached another mountain and then looted that room as well, and it was hardly of any use, maybe except for the little backyard with a bunch of mysterious plants. Deeper in the island, I scanned an exterior grow bed and stole more potato and marble melons. Well, I guess that was all about this island, just a bunch of PDAs, plants, and a few new recipes to add to my house design handbook. I've no idea who or what that is, but Degassi probably died there, so it was my next exploration station, and boy did he need to drown that deep. That honestly looked terrifying and captivating at the same time. I'm glad that I had a chance to upgrade my Seamoth before diving in here. Found some useful fragments like a nuclear reactor, modification station blueprint, and a thermal plant. This Degassi base looks like a pretty chill place, but I know that these fancy glowing plants are deadly, so I have to be really careful. Well, I wasn't. I got so excited about exploring that room that I forgot that I needed to breathe. Luckily, my Tamagotchi reminded me about it, so I just scanned myself out of that tube and got absolutely burned by those tentacles. I did manage to get to the Seamoth though, so I was safe, but this was a close call. Did you know you could scan the green wall? This is so cool! I was even more surprised to find that the thing that I was floating in was actually a multi-purpose room. That should be a real advancement for my base. Look at all the free space here. Oh, and that huge water filtration machine, I'm definitely taking that with me. Well, now I guess it was time to leave that place because the clock was already ticking and I needed to swim like a couple of thousand miles to the Sunbeam land inside. It was not looking friendly here. More and more creepy animals are joining the chat, so it's better to keep some distance if I don't want to find out what they're up to. Anyway, here we are. That's where the Sunbeam is supposed to land. I still had some time to look around and even found where you needed to put these weird purple tablets, so that's kinda nice. Oh, and by the way, there was another one on the top of that cliff. I wish I knew how many of them I missed at that time. I went to explore the island a little, looted some diamonds and lithium, and got rid of stupid crabs, and found another purple iPad. I decided to insert that into the tacky card reader just to see what's gonna happen, and it just disabled the barrier for me, so I could pass through. But I wanted to see that Sunbeam's arrival. The huge weird tower started moving, and I don't know if it was a good sign or not. But just looking at the shape it made, it was clear that the freaking Sunbeam was not going to land. Well, I guess nobody's gonna save me now. That's cool. Anyway, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, maybe we should explore that evil facility a bit closer. The most useful thing here is probably that ATM from another galaxy, which allowed me to download some data, and also that green cube, which looks pretty fancy. Oh wait, it's actually some high-capacity alien energy source. I was a bit hesitant to jump into that matrix because I had no idea what to expect. Too bad that I didn't do it though, because it was actually just an elevator, but I didn't know that and had to go back all the way down that structure and see what's hidden on the other side. Now, there was a little problem. The entrance was guarded by a warper. Oh, never mind, he's gone. So I just parked my Toyota in that high-tech garage, scanned some epic alien rifle in a freaking aquarium, found another purple tablet and a a doomsday device? Excuse me? Oh no, check this out. What the hell is this about? Did I just get my booster or something? What do you mean I'm infected? Bro, you just used a big-ass needle without any sterility, and I don't know how many individuals got their vaccines here before me. Anyway, it did seem to give me some clues of the next destination, but with these warpers outside that facility, I'm not feeling confident to go unprepared, so maybe I should get my Cyclops and the Prawn suit first. So I got to the base and listened to some evil podcasts from those alien translocations. All the 15th day I spent gathering the resources and figuring out what the hell did I miss to make that aerogel, and it turned out that I needed a gel sack and some rubies. While hunting for those gel sacks and gemstones, I stumbled upon the power cell charger fragment. Too bad it wasn't a battery charger because I think I've already got one piece of it. Anyway, I had plenty of resources now, so I even started stockpiling them into my Seamoth. I finally crafted the aerogel and got all of the required resources to make a prawn suit. So I just hopped into my vehicle bay and boom, here comes the prawn suit. Check out that beauty doing its majestic dive to the bottom of the freaking ocean. Bruh. I mean, it looks promising though, feels pretty comfortable too. Well, thank you for that, you bloody sea dog. I know this suit probably sucks without any upgrades, so what? Let me just enjoy that for a little while, okay? I searched the Aurora crash site to see if I could find any Cyclops fragments, found a bridge, and even a piece of engine, but the problem was that the further I go to any Aurora's tail, the louder the creepy noises get, so I assume that's where the Leviathans are, and I don't want to meet any of them. As I was retreating something horrible happened. I have no idea what that was, but I do need new underpants now. Anyway, I just backed off and started scavenging that weird mushroom biome with the luminescent stingrays. This is where I actually found all the remaining parts for the Cyclops, another bridge, and the hull fragment. I was really lucky to get into that biome because apart from the engine, it did provide all of the necessary materials for a new blueprint. But now the bigger problem was to actually make it, because I would need at least 3 enameled pieces of glass for that. And I didn't have any stalker teeth. Because I had no idea how to approach them or how I got my first tooth, I freaking murdered the poor guy for no reason. So yeah, that just didn't give me any teeth. Luckily I found more of them swimming around, so I just stalked the stalkers and waited till they get old and drop their teeth. It seems like they drop their teeth when they mess around with the salvage parts. It was bad news for them, but pretty good news for me, because now I could build my submarine. This is freaking huge! The insides honestly feel bigger than I thought, because you can literally walk in here, a bunch of power cells to run that thing, and even our personal rocket launcher. Nice! That looks like our prawn suit room with a console. Now check this out, you can toggle the lights. Bro, is this a Mercedes or something? All of these holograms, everything is so usable, interactive and responsive. This is crazy! What? You can change the colors of the submarine too? Well, I actually like the way it is, but you could certainly tune your bad boy. Anyway, I called that boy a Prius. I don't know why, I just felt like it. My next step was making a vehicle upgrade console, but it says it can be built only in the moon pool, so I built that first in the ugliest way possible. It's not even connected to the base. Let's just drop our console right here and see what it does. I loaded my prawn suit in the moon pool, scrapped enough resources to make a storage module, and then I realized that my prawn suit already comes with inbuilt storage. Wow, I'm an idiot. Next day I made a compass and was about to go find an evil alien facility that was somewhere near the quarantine tower, but I've spotted a new code from Captain's cabin on Aurora. God damn it. I guess the plans changed now, we're going to Aurora. The captain's cabin wasn't hiding much, but a little Aurora toy, a Neptune escape rocket blueprint, which I'll need for the endgame, and finally the Aurora poster. The next day I found the quarantine tower once again, but I wasn't able to find the disease research facility. It's supposed to be 800 meters away from that spot, but I just don't know exactly where. I tried diving really deep now, but maybe not deep enough because I was too scared to reach the bottom. And these freaking dragons were also making me extremely uncomfortable by damaging my little Seamoth. Bloody creatures almost destroyed my Seamoth, so I had to back off. As a loser's reward, I just grabbed a pack of blood oil in some random biome and took that with me to my base, and turned that into a bottle of benzene. In my next adventure I got really close to one of the Leviathans and had to hide in a cave like a little chicken, but that was really scary. Alright, so I really need to upgrade my prawn suit because neither the Seamoth nor Cyclops give me that sense of comfort. I went searching for prawn suit upgrades and found a capsule with a water filtration suit, which I never actually used, and finally found the prawn suit drill arm, and also one fragment of the grappling hook. While I was searching for the remaining piece, I stumbled upon a fancy toy car, a grey hat, some creepy toy dude, and a PDA, but that was a pretty productive day anyway. Next day I found some copper ore and decided to drop a beacon here, in case I'll ever want to gather this. Then I went back to that region where I got my first prawn suit upgrades, but somehow I got lost in these waters and it wasn't for good. It's probably Ghost Leviathan or something, but this time it got so close, even closer than the normal Reaper. It bloody charged at me, but I wasn't even looking, I was just running the hell out while screaming like a little girl. Damn, this is getting wild. I parked in an extremely tiny cave that even my Seamoth couldn't squeeze through, and found a bunch of uranite crystals which are actually radioactive, but I picked them up anyway, they might be useful later. Finally I reached that crash site where I found my first grappling hook piece and decided to search the area a little bit more thoroughly. It seems like I missed a room behind the sealed door, so that was giving me hope. Seriously though? There was another sealed door behind the sealed door. Is this a prank or something? Where's the camera, bro? Anyway, I got through that as well, and here it is. Finally, another grappling arm fragment. Oh boy, that took me a while. With all the blueprints in my pocket, I rushed back to my base, parked my suit to access vehicle upgrades, crafted the drill arm and also the grappling hook, and here, check this out. Can we grapple onto that submarine? Oh yeah, Spider-Man, let's go. Oh, never mind, I just missed that a little. For literally no reason I wanted to try and build something. My choice fell on that multi-purpose room. What I didn't expect though is that this maneuver will cost me a gazillion years of fixing the base, so I started building reinforcements while my base was being flooded like crazy. Oh man, what have I done? Anyway, I dropped those foundations as ugly as I could, just to make things big, and spent the next day fixing those cracks in my walls. At some point I did solve that small leak and activated the draining system, so my base was going back to normal. That same day I reached the quarantine tower once again and dropped a beacon here for easier navigation, so I don't have to search this every time. Once again I headed southwest, 800 meters from the tower, and still couldn't figure out the bloody disease research facility. In what cave is this? What the hell? I did find some more ruins though, with a battery charger fragment now, so I was pretty content with my adventure, but I just didn't want to give up that easily, so I kept on searching for anything that might look like a cave entrance. I was also checking up on guides to find it, but it's not like they were telling me exactly where I needed to search. Well, one thing was clear, it was somewhere in that biome. So I searched this whole biome and that little socket was kinda looking the most promising. If only I knew at the time that the actual larger entrance was just a couple of feet away from that spot. Anyway, I started my descent and was really careful to avoid any Cyclops damage, because I was trying to squeeze in through the crack, so I got as close to the bottom as possible, but it was not enough to reach the full depths of it, because my Cyclops could only travel 500 meters down. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll have to find another way to continue my roll down. And well, guess what? The Prawn suit looks like an ideal candidate for the job. It can easily go as deep as 900 meters. The lady said that this biome contains some weird flora and fauna, so I guess this is it. I'm in the right spot. After beating the shit out of the locals, I dropped another beacon because it was indeed the right place. And boy, that looked horrific. There are just a ton of absolutely wild beasts ready to tear you apart, so I was kinda happy in my comfortable prawn suit, you know. So I started exploring the cave, found some magnetite, nickel ore, and flew further into the depths of that biome. I completely relied on the grappling hook and my little propeller that comes inbuilt in the prawn suit. I wasn't thinking much about how I'm gonna get out of here, I was really focused on finding that local hospital. Well, and I probably did find it, but elevated by the spirit of adventure, I just passed by it and went further to see what else is hidden in that cave. But there were so many deadly creatures, even my prawn suit was shaking. I knew that the green fog was probably not good for me, but I dipped myself anyway because I wanted to get that gem. Well, I don't anymore. Anyway, I got back to those posts and finally found the research facility. But here is the problem. I ran out of food and water. Seriously, climbing all the way up that puke waterfall using my grappling hook was a complete nightmare, but around 3 minutes later I managed to get to the top. I finally loaded myself up the Cyclops and boy have I ever felt more safe. Fun fact, the stupid facility is right under my spawn point, but I'll have to go all the way around through caves and horrible creatures to get there. Oh yeah, that's level design, baby. So I listened to some alien gibberish, crafted a depths module for my big boy, thus increasing its deep dive capacity to 900 meters, just like the prawn suit, replaced some power cells and went back to the ugly cave. And also found a power transmitter along the way. Since my Prius is now equipped with a depths module, I tried to pilot that thing close to the disease research facility so I can explore it safely. You could tell that was pretty tough because I had to dodge all of the dead trees, random rocks, but the worst was about to begin. I saw a creature approaching at a pretty fast pace and that was bloody imminent. The freaking ghost Leviathan attacked my Cyclops, and he deals quite a bit of damage, so I panicked like crazy. There is no way I'm dying here, not like that. As I tried to fix my Cyclops from the inside, I realized that it was actually not working at all. Meanwhile, the freaking tuna on steroids kept bullying my Prius. He grabbed the Cyclops like it was a toy and dragged it somewhere under that sick carp nose. Everything was leaking. My pants were leaking. Maybe I could still save the Cyclops. I just needed to hop into the prawn suit and get that idiot's attention on me. And it actually worked. The intoxicated salmon indeed charged at me. Here is my plan. I just need to keep that tuna away from my Prius so I can approach it safely and fix it from the outside. It seems like he's pretty far away now, so I hopped out of my prawn suit and headed straight to fixing the hull damage. That honestly worked so well that I thought I could just do it again. And I did fix my boy, but failed to get back inside the Cyclops because I absolutely had to miss the entrance. Oh my god. The chase continued. The ghost Leviathan got me in the corner and was refusing to go further than my Prius. He finally backed off, so I actually managed to get inside the submarine. I tried my best to pilot that thing closer to the disease research facility, but it was too late. The freak saw me again. I tried turning the lights off, but I don't think it helped much. He grabbed me again, this time dealing even more damage. Alright, so I know what to do, right? But hold up, I can't unload the prawn suit. It's too shallow. Oh no, I tried lifting up the Cyclops and it worked. We're still in the game. But this time it wasn't that good, even though I was still following the same strategy. The more time I spent here, the more I realized that I'm probably not going to get my Cyclops back, so someone will have to die. It was either going to be me or that beefy tuna. While my prawn suit was still functional and I had my thirst and hunger bars not emptied completely, I headed back to my base. It took me a while to get there, as climbing these huge mountains in the prawn suit was a pure nightmare. I just needed an ultra high capacity oxygen tank, and I could only craft it in my modification station. I also needed to upgrade my fins, but of course the stasis rifle is the real icing on the cake. I am taking my boy back. I need that Cyclops, you bitch. So I octopused back to the cave and here we go again. For a moment I thought the bloody ghost Leviathan was gone, so I took my chance on fixing the Cyclops, but the cabin was absolutely burning inside. And no, the tuna is back. Canary bitch. So I got him in a gravitational bubble and tried to make sure I could get close enough. And here comes the slashing simulator. It was basically rinse and repeat. Shoot the stasis rifle and keep smacking him with my knife. At some point I started running out of oxygen, so I needed to replenish that in my prawn suit. And sitting in that prawn suit I realized how the whole damn thing is cursed. Getting out of that comfy suit was the trickiest moment in my entire life. I missed just one single shot and already thought that I was doomed. But hopped back inside and made a decent tactical retreat. Got him again and just kept on going. The tuna finally rolled over. It's freaking dead. I got him. Bro, it was such a relief. This thing is not gonna bother me anymore. Well, at least I hope not. The Cyclops was on fire, so I quickly grabbed the fire extinguisher to sort things out, and here we go. The systems were restored, though it was still showing like there is something burning. I guess it's just stuck. I finally got to that disease research facility once again, looted a green cube, opened another techie door to download some data, scanned some random animal remnants, got more data, and explored every corner of that base, but didn't really find anything special. Or maybe I was just blind. I scanned the BDSM warper and also checked myself as the lady advised, and it seems like I was infected with something and needed to find a cure. The blood infection got to my arms now, so that was certainly not looking good. Finally I explored the ugly ass fish and returned to my base to resupply and reconsider my life after all this hectic adventure. Dropped a battery charger on the wall so I don't have to craft them constantly, and crafted the Cyclops MK2 depths module, which extended the diving capacity to 1300 meters, and also built a huge water filtration machine. Crafted a prawn suit jetpack so I can get some extra boost energy, and also made another depths module to allow that boy to go as deep as well. Meanwhile, my water station produced the best water I could ever dream about. It gives a whole 50 points to my thirst. I went to the LifePod 19 crash to find the remaining power cell charger fragments because I had a bunch of empty power cells in my storage and would love to reuse them. It's better than crafting them from scratch anyway, and also got a reinforced dive suit blueprint here. and that power cell charger on the wall near my normal battery charger, collected some blood oil to craft benzene, which was necessary to make the reinforced suit, put that on, and went back to the toxic rivers. Since I had no idea where that thermal plant is, I decided to park my Cyclops and continue on foot, because it allows for more mobility. I spotted some glowing tree, which I didn't see when I came here for the first time, and the place looked kinda chill. But as I went further, it started to look, well, kinda hot. I guess I'm in the volcano now, so the thermal facility must be very close. Found some kyanite that I didn't wanna miss, returned for the Cyclops to park it here as well, and started searching for the thermal facility entrance. But the only thing I found was a huge-ass dragon or Leviathan or whatever the hell that was. The whole bloody search took me around 4 days, bro. 4 days, seriously? I was constantly going back to my base and back to this cave, getting lost, fireballed by the dragon, bit by that monstrosity, volcanoed by hellfire, and after all this suffering, I found it. It was in that huge mountain all this time. I don't know how many times I climbed or went around it, I just couldn't see the stupid entrance, but there it was, almost unnoticeable little rabbit hole, and as I jumped inside, the freaking dragon bombarded it in a very cinematic fashion. Anyway, here is the huge alien cube, but the quest wasn't over yet. I just needed to find how to enter that thing, and yeah, it's here, it's on the left side. I opened the first door with my purple tablet to get the blue one, chatted with that moth in my head again, hopped back into my Prawn suit to mine some more ionic crystals, downloaded some viruses to my iPad, grabbed another cube, and realized that I don't have a spare purple tablet to open the next door. Damn it! So I went back to the quarantine tower, scanned a broken purple tablet to open the blueprint, so that now I could actually craft them myself, and also looted a free tab in the cave inside that quarantine mountain. Made a Cyclops depths module upgrade, increasing its maximum depths to 1700 meters, and also added the top level module to the Prawn suit. I noticed that with all the chargers and a watering machine in my base, it's absolutely starving for energy, especially during the nighttime. My base is basically inoperable and doesn't even allow me to cook food. It got so annoying that I decided to build a bioreactor in the center of my room, and it requires some biomass to function, so I thought I might want to load some creep vines, and it actually worked. Well, at least the power is not gonna be an issue anymore. So I crafted a couple of purple tablets myself and went back to the thermal facility. That room was honestly pretty scary, as I didn't really know whether I'm gonna get electrocuted, but no, it was alright. So I gotta go to the new location now, the primary containment facility, and this one was pretty deep, but so were all of my vehicles, so I was fine. I downloaded some more data and opened a few blueprints, including the ionic power, so now my batteries are even more toxic than ever before. Sorry Greta, you shouldn't play this game. I also noticed that I need to insert my ionic cubes into some arch, but I didn't have any of them on me, so I went straight to the primary containment facility, which was hiding deep in that cave. My roaches were calling me again, and of course I absolutely had to stumble upon that dragon here, but that's fine, I dodged the hellish hound anyway and parkoured into the primary facility, inserted the blue tablet and went up the hallway in a very ceremonial fashion. The lady wasn't excited about this at all, she said that I needed to evacuate, but come on, I've just arrived, what are you talking about? So I gathered a bunch of ionic cubes, scanned everything in this room, downloaded some data about enzyme 42, which is somehow linked to curing my disease, got even more ionic cubes because they seem to have respawned, and placed one of them into an alien arch. Well, that certainly did something. Is this a kind of a portal? Well, without much of hesitation, I entered that portal and was sucked into the matrix, get spit out into some cave, and just because I got really scared, I jumped back into the portal, and luckily that got me back to the primary facility, where I just kept exploring things, lighting up more arches, and eventually I used one of the portals once again, and stumbled upon some sick puppy that casually rolled into my tiny cave. Are you alright, mate? The guy was pretty chill, so I didn't touch him either. Scanned a sea emperor baby, got more data, explored some pipes that seemed to have been circulating clear water without any bacteria, went back to the thermal alien base again, stuck the ion cube in there, and now this portal took me to the quarantine tower. so I actually went back home to make more blue tablets because apparently I could craft them as well, and also crafted an ionic power cell, which allowed me to upgrade my Prawn suit so it can last longer. One alien power cell gives 5 times more energy, so that's definitely an advancement, especially when the Prawn suit has become my favorite means of transportation. Alright, so back to the facility, I opened the final door and got into some Milky Way jacuzzi, jumped straight in and faced a huge dragon that was spitting some wisdom while I was spitting some poop into my pants. The Sea Emperor casually swam away, and I dropped some more cubes to open more alien arches, including the one in this egg altar or whatever that was. The Sea Emperor just vacuumed all the sand from another portal and has given me a hatching enzymes recipe, which is basically a milkshake from different plants, which turned out to be a hell of a struggle to collect. So here was my assumption. Each of the 4 portals in that facility was leading to a new biome, so apparently that's where I'm supposed to find those plants. And it was actually true. Here comes the first bulb, the tree mushroom, the ghost weed, eye stalk, and here does not come the bloody sea crown. I literally wasted 2 days searching for that sea crown in all of the different biomes until I gave up and googled that thing, which was actually in here at the Sea Emperor's spot. Finally, I had the last piece to make the hatch enzymes cocktail, crafted that up real quick and took it all the way back with me. Luckily the portals are all working, so it's really easy to travel now. Alright, let's hatch some baby dragons, and here they are. It actually took so long for the content to start playing that I thought we're gonna stand here forever, but the Sea Emperor dropped some statum wisdom and decided that her time has come. Wait, I feel like I'm missing something. You can't just die like that, what the hell? With the shaken hand, I tried smacking the quarantine button again and got vaccinated again and again, but nothing happened. What's going on here? Well, fast forward in another half of the day and I finally noticed these weird bubbles which I was supposed to stick my hand in. Now, that was the actual cure. Oh boy, I thought the game broke already. So now that I was clean, I could actually try again and see if it's gonna turn off the quarantine tower. The bloody needle was trying to be funny, but that ain't fun, bro, just do the thing already. My arm is probably ground meat now from all the unsuccessful tries that I did behind the scenes. Finally, the lights turned off, and that means the tower is now deactivated. Well, now that I have the main storyline almost done and almost 40 days before I can wrap that adventure, I think I might as well just build a better base before I leave this planet. I didn't want to make the same mistakes as with my old base, so building the foundation first was the best solution to ensure base integrity. And it's not like I had any specific plan for that base or had any idea what I want to build, but I was simply going with the flow. I constructed a large room and tried my best to add some internal walls there to outline some individual chambers. The weird wall building mechanic was driving me nuts, but it was actually turning into a small office with a fancy wall planter, aquarium, a bunch of toys and caps, and even more toys. I also built some kind of a canteen with posters, vending machines, planters and windows to make it a little bit more cozy. And the base was turning into something decent already, but one thing was missing. A pet that I could play around with. All I need is that huge mushroom tree, because there is something interesting in that little rabbit hole, an absolute honey bun cuttlefish. I would also need a special aquarium for that thing to hatch. By completely ignoring radiation because I forgot to put on my protective gear, I grabbed a data box with alien containment and built that in my multi-purpose room, which suddenly turned into a single-purpose oceanarium. Dropped a little entrance hatch and threw the poor cuttlefish in there, which already seems to be jumping for joy, while that punk makes me jump out of my chair. Anyway, my base kept growing, and so did the seeds that I started planting to make my hibernation station a bit more pleasant to walk around. All in all, I was just trying to entertain myself at that point and started maxing out different vehicles, built a nuclear reactor which added crazy loads of energy to my little chamber, crafted a bunch of expensive rods to power the nuclear reactor, and actually stopped caring about the energy deficit completely. Finally, I maxed out my Seamoth depths by crafting an MK3 module, which now allows this handicap to go 900 meters deep, And the new upgrade turned out to be pretty useful when I went searching for another Degassi base in that blue ball biome, which would probably be a nightmare to run around in my prawn suit. Oh, and don't mind that big brain squid, because I'm here to find some fun stuff that I missed, and that is a Cyclops shield generator, a bunch of silly laboratory equipment, and finally an orange tablet. This is actually what I came here for, but everything else was kind of a bonus, and screw that Squidward. Now off we go to a Lost River laboratory featuring some creepy skeleton head. So I inserted the newly found tablet and realized that the laboratory was actually kinda useless, but it did give me some sense of completion. Also check out these bloody beautiful walking bastards that I met on my way back home. They must be some special form of Leviathans, I reckon. Alright, I think it's time we start building that rocket, because honestly I have no idea how much time it's going to take me. And here comes the huge ass platform that emerged from very little resources. Well, I wish everything was like that, but actually I've only been grinding food, water and titanium so far, so I can't really complain. Now let's get started with a ladder or whatever that thing is for building the rocket itself. Now look at that size, I wonder how much horsepower it has. It's good that I started building the rocket beforehand, because I ran out of lithium for the plasteel ingots, so I had to go back to grinding even more resources. But here comes our midsection. Let's just drop a cap on top of that to make that rocket complete, but damn does it need pretty expensive resources, and also a bloody Cyclops shield, which I actually looted just for fun, but it turns out it was actually a must-have for the rocket. Shish kebab, that sounds like a promising name for the rocket, huh? Now I still have 15 days left, and that's actually 5 more hours of not escaping this planet, and I can still get 4 remaining achievements. Well, the easiest one is to simply release the cuttlefish into the open sea, and I spent some time playing with that squish because it looks like a Squidward plus fish, and explored all the different animations it could offer. Next I went to the Aurora's drive core because I needed to fix some breaches to get another achievement, and after fixing all 10 the lady told me that the radiation level decreased, but I didn't want to try it on my skin. The 90th day is when I finally powered all of my vehicles with alien energy. By replacing 6 regular power cells with ionic ones, my Cyclops has now a total of 6000 energy, which is 4 times higher than it used to have, so that's pretty decent. And now with the thermal upgrade it can also recharge near the heat sources, like if I am ever going back to that lava cave anyway. I also upgraded a rocket launcher, leveled up my prawn suit by adding the thermal recharger, dropped a solar panel into my Seamoth, and also added an extra level of bumpy ride protection, but then I realized that your defense system could either be active or passive, so I just put the spare module into the storage in case I want to test that out someday. But I actually already tried that with my Cyclops and it absolutely plummeted the energy, so I should use that carefully. Though it did protect the Cyclops from another low IQ fish, it drained my battery by almost 50%. Alright, so one thing I haven't tried is shooting rockets, but I really want to see how that works. I crafted a rocket launcher for my little Seamoth and then tried aiming at the first annoying beast that came to disturb my peace. And wow, that was an absolute waste. But it seems like as long as it's in the range, it's going to suck that creature into the vacuum portal and give you enough time to escape. Wait, what? Did I just split that tilapia into bloody atoms? What the hell? I also crafted a repulsion cannon because it sounds cool and because I can. And finally, I loaded a bunch of decoys into my Cyclops, so maybe that will be useful one day too. Farmed more ionic cubes at the containment facility and tested the thermal module. Well, actually it does charge the suit if I stand directly in lava, but it's also hurting me, so I guess we could call that a partial win. You can't push this any further now. All of my tools are running on ion batteries. What else can I do here? I went to explore the backside of the Aurora ship and remembered that I wanted to try something in the Prawn Bay area. I had personal business with that freaking balcony that I wanted to climb up when I saw it for the first time. Well, and it took me a couple of days once again. But with 11 batteries in my pocket and a continuous struggle of building a sustainable tower out of trash boxes, I was finally able to lift myself up that bridge by facing the wall and standing on the box while pushing it against that wall and using my gravity cannon. Oh god, it was a flawless victory, even though I found out that the fire was fake and, well, obviously the door wasn't opening as well. So all this time it was more of a decoration than a usable element, but at least I could now leave peacefully. Back to my base, and I've built a scanner room to see how that works, upgraded it to make it more or less usable, and went to explore the heat area that it found for me, but I already knew it was there, I just didn't dare to go down and see for myself, but now I could take that risk, so I left my prawn suit and realized that I'm about to get really crispy here. I also made a terrible mistake of opening the prawn suit upgrades menu, and after that I started tickling the belly of that bloody fish, while staying right in the deadly gazer. Well, seriously? Seriously, bro? I wanted to build a thermal plant and have an alternative source of energy, but on the next eruption I was instantly turning from medium rare to, well, fucking burned. I instinctively swallowed the entire medkit and rushed back to safety. That would be a really poor way to die on my 99th day of survival. Anyway, the thermal plant was ready, and I managed to connect it to my regular base using power transmitters. Well, I think I've had enough of that freaking planet. No matter how much I'm turning that into a home, it's trying to kill me anyway. This is the final, 100th day of survival. So here is a quick review of my base from the outside, the little entrance corridor and multi-purpose room with Chinese potatoes, a fancy moon pool connected to the base, a cozy kitchen with a bunch of posters, useful and useless facilities, my office with toys and lovely aquarium, nuclear reactor, water filtering machine and a little storage neatly connected to a scanner room, alien containment with another cuttlefish, and an observatory room with Chinese potato again, but I really wanted to plant something else here, but nothing seems to have fit in that little vase. Well, guess what? Just like me on that sick planet, so how about we get the hell out of here now? I wanted to say goodbye to my cuttlefish, but ended up punching it in the face with my thermal dagger. No offense taken, so I patted both of my bros, climbed the elevator, took one last look at my base, and started switching all the levels in my rocket, loaded a time capsule with some useful resources, pressed more random buttons, and now we are ready for the ride of our life.
Ready to launch on your command, Captain. Launch in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time capsule jettisoned. Caution, approaching orbital debris field. Orbital debris field clear. Performing gravity turn maneuver. Confirm destination coordinates. Nearest interstellar phase gate. Engaging ion boosters in 3, 2, 1.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end. They are different, but they go together. Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand. We are different, but we go together.
Welcome home to Aurora. Permission to land will be granted once you have settled your outstanding balance of 1 trillion credits.
What the fuck?